Common misconception that philosophy is something that people do only when they have nothing better to do with their time. But in reality, philosophy, whether it's in Europe or in Asia, develops when people are confronted with serious problems of social chaos and human suffering. This is what happened in ancient China during the Spring and Autumn and Warring States period. Over a period of about 500 years, China was torn by states competing for supremacy. There was a reigning monarch, the king of the Zhou dynasty. But though the king reigned, he did not rule. Real power was in the hands of the rulers of the states, usually dukes. These dukes fought one another for power, for wealth, sometimes just for survival.
Here we have a copy of the Beijing version of the Laozi, which is the oldest surviving complete version of our text. In this passage, Laozi describes the political situation in the era in which he lives, which drove people like him to first philosophize. The court is resplendent, yet the fields are overgrown. The granaries are empty, yet some wear fancy clothes and carry sharp swords. They're stuffed with food and possess wealth in abundance. This is called thievery. This is not the way.
Laozi and Confucius are the two most famous philosophers of this era, but they are hardly the only ones. Indeed, this period is sometimes called the period of the 100 schools of philosophy because of the diversity of views. This complexity was later reduced to 6 major schools by the Chinese historian Sima Qian. In addition to the Taoists and the Confucians, there were also the Mohists, the Legalists, the Yin-Yang school, and the School of Names. Each of these schools had its own perspective about the way to live and the way to organize society.
We're here in what is perhaps the largest collection in China of stone inscriptions showing a legendary meeting between Confucius and Laozi. There are different versions of this story, but in all of them, Laozi is the older, more established philosopher, and Confucius is coming to him to ask for his insight and wisdom.